EU has accused Britain of chasing a fantasy. A senior official involved in Brexit talks had some strong words about the UK's stance.
The EU doesn't negotiate under threat. The precondition for fruitful discussions is that the UK accepts the consequences of its own decision, rather than chasing the fantasy of denying the consequences of Brexit. The sooner we get away from this fantasy, the sooner we can talk about the future relationship.
Well, it comes the day after the Brexit department set out demands for partnership with the EU. These included a warning that the UK would withdraw from the bloc's Galileo satellite project and pull out funds if it is excluded from planning. Britain's approach has been criticised by the EU for a lack of progress on the Irish border and other issues. The latest demands have exacerbated tensions, casting new doubt over a future agreement. Well, for more on all this, I'm now joined by Senior Partner at Brexit Partners, Professor John Ryan. Professor Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. A number of EU governments have made it clear that they don't agree with the hardline approach that's being taken by the chief negotiator, Michel Barnier. If the UK's chasing a fantasy, what on earth is the EU chasing?
Yeah, there's a few countries that are not very happy with Barnier, but they're not that many. And Barnier's been kind of an honest broker. I think the European Commission has been more a mischief maker in the background in this process, generally speaking. And I think there's a tad bit of irritation from the European Union side about how these talks are going. Because now you've got to realise they've got the Eurozone issues coming up, especially with Italy, the new government there. So I think they're going to focus a lot more on that, and they feel this is a bit of a diversion for them.
The EU says it doesn't negotiate under threat, but the EU is attacking the UK over Brexit, for instance, making it clear that the UK can't access the Galileo project for another 2 years. For the Galileo information as EU members or be involved in its development post-Brexit. So what's going on with that?
Now, people are just irritated with each other. I think really at the moment, I think that there's a degree of unhappiness about what the British are providing, what they're saying on various issues. And I think to some extent on some of these issues, the European Union is actually being counterproductive for its own interests, especially on security and defence issues, that's for sure.
Is Theresa May really in such a bad position as some people are making out? We have to stay in the customs union for another 2 years, so technically this can is being kicked down the road. She's off the hook for another couple of years?
I don't think she's off the hook for a couple of years at all. I think she's got real serious problems within her party. The Brexiteers who are becoming very, very unhappy about the way the negotiations are going, and the media behind that as well. And also the Parliament is probably not going to go and vote for what she might put in front of it. And some of the issues to do with fantasy, I think, are to do with some of the things that the British are discussing in isolation of what they know would be acceptable to the European Union. So I think that she's in a very difficult position now, and I think she can survive over the summer, but at the beginning of September, maybe she would be under some pressure. But there is a summit next month, which I would stress that would not only be on Brexit, but also on the Eurozone crisis issue, which is emerging quite prominently in Germany, Italy, France, and the rest of the Eurozone.
One other big issue, the elephant in the room really, is still the question of the Irish border. Is there any viable solution to this problem?
It's very difficult to see what the British government is proposing that's going to be acceptable to the European Union and to not make a hard border. And if there was a hard border, I think then you would see quite a lot of unionists. I mean, some polling data has shown that unionists would have changed their vote if they felt there was going to be a hard border up there. They are deeply unhappy about that. And at the same time, this government actually depends on Democratic Unionist Party votes to maintain some kind of order in Parliament. So she is in a very tricky position. There has been not really any progress, despite the fact that the Irish Prime Minister has held out his hand and actually said, look, there might be something in this. It's a form of encouragement. Let's see what else you can come up with. I think it's kind of it's something that's not moved very much at all. A lot more work needs to be done about it, and it needs to be taken much more seriously than Theresa May's cabinet is actually applying to it at the moment.
On that note, we'll have to end it there. Thank you very much, Professor John Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.